If you've ever watched any Gears clips online, or maybe from a friend, it can feel like they're playing a whole different game than you are. I'm going to try to break down some of those clips and explain exactly how it works. This is Gears Science. In this King of the Hill clip, you can see that my entire team is here. We also have a guy out on the street to watch that direction. This means the enemy will most likely be coming from the opposite direction. Now the problem is that if I start crossing him, he's going to stay back there, but I'd rather fight him out in the open. So now I push up on him. This way my teammates can cross for me and I can get the kill nice and easy. I also know that his teammates will likely spawn on the far side. This means that I can find a right-handed corner here where I can lie in wait. My target was JD, but he stepped aside at the last second. This meant that I had to double down on Dizzy and make sure I got the kill. This is also where I noticed that his teammate has grenades, so I decided to laser focus on him. This guy also shot his teammate in the back. By ready strafing between each shot, I'm able to easily evade fire. Good positioning and catching my opponents unaware made this play possible. You can see this guy has his Lancer out. Ducking back behind cover between every shot also helped me avoid any possibility of incoming fire. This is also when I noticed the fifth guy in the back. Now let's watch it in real time. This is another King of the Hill match, and I can tell that if my teammates spawn to the right, then the enemy probably spawns center. Now I have both a right-hand advantage and a height advantage. The first guy didn't know that I was here, so as long as I take my time, I should be able to easily get the kill. From this distance and this angle, it would be extremely hard for them to push me. It would be extremely difficult to take out both of them while firing a long distance like this, so I damage them as much as I can, then decide to push when I have the opportunity. I get the easy up A, then run through to dodge the next shot. I'm able to one-shot his buddy due to the damage I've done to him earlier. A lot has to be said about paying attention to your surroundings. I expect the enemy to be spawning on my far left, so I go ahead and take a look. Keep your eyes moving and check the most obvious places. I know that he'll be chasing close behind me, so I hide on this corner. I also see this guy, just for an instant. Although I move to the right, I take a look to my left, and I see him push up on me. I miss my first shot, but I roadie strafe out of the way of its next and make sure that mine lands. I angle my camera down to see over this next cover. I'm able to get the one shot on the first guy, bounce to my left, and then hit the second guy. You may have noticed by now that I time a lot of my movement around when the enemy takes their shots. By firing my first shot at distance, I can guarantee that I'll be able to shoot next before him. This means I can take my time and get it right. This also puts me at a disadvantage when the next fight comes up. My next shot was not a kill shot, but it may have thrown off his aim a little bit. Then I slide to the side. This both helps me evade and helps me line up the next shot. As I'm trying to get out of the open, I also notice a guy coming up behind me, so I turn around, make sure I get my first shot off on him. Same thing, I put the damage on him, then I'm able to press the advantage. Now the exact same principles apply in competitive weapon tuning as well. Since shotgun works at much closer distances, I'm able to slowly walk in there, make sure that I time my movement with the time of his shot, and I'm able to take the damage, knowing that I'm going to be able to get that kill shot off on him. I see my teammates are spawning in on the left, which means the enemy's coming from the right. Kate both jammed her weapon and rolled away from me. I take my time and make sure I land the shot. Then I push up into their spawn to catch them off guard, where I pin Bear between the wall. I roadie strafe away, then turn to face my next opponent. I want to take my time, but when I get shot in the back, I know I have to push. I hit him with a reaction shot, then continue running. When I turn around, I'm able to take my time and hit the rolling enemy. This is another example of competitive weapon tuning. There's a guy hiding on the corner ahead of me, but I have right-hand advantage. As I get around the corner, I see all the other enemies are far away, and I also notice a teammate died behind me, so I make the split-second decision to turn around. Now I notice another player through the window moving towards my corner. You should always be scanning with your eyes. The most likely places an enemy will be on your screen. In this case, I see a guy through the window. Don't forget that Gears is all about cause and effect. That means throwing a grenade in front of somebody will push them away from you, or throwing it behind them will push them towards you into your barrel. I also want to hammer home again. Make sure you always look behind you. I see this guy's coming up, so I pull back, and when I see that the fight's not to my liking, I just decide to nope out. Of course he's going to chase me and I easily get the kill. You can do the same thing by pulling out a rifle. This will inevitably draw enemies close with their shotguns. You can also see here I time my movement against his shots and take a little bit of damage knowing that I can get the kill shot in the end. In this example, I can see there's a guy in the truck who's going to try to cross me down. I take my opportunity to take out my rifle, and what ends up happening is I know the guy from the truck will probably try to push me. I also know that he's going to have right-hand advantage on me when he gets here, so I move left and try to get a nice shot off on him, just in time. If I hadn't gotten the kill, I would have kept running in this case. Speaking of running, sometimes the fight's just not going your way and it makes more sense to run away. In this case, I keep running and, well, you'll kind of see here things kind of just keep not working out for me. You'll also see here that my normal pattern is fire, evade, then line up your next shot. This usually works out so that even if you keep missing your shots, you're able to stay alive. I also always act as if my next shot will not be the kill shot. And here, I finally find the fight that I wanted all along, which is 3 guys stuck on one corner. A lot of times it makes more sense to be patient with your shot, so you can see here I do a lot better job. I just run past the guy, take my time, make sure I land the shot, even though I could have fired a little sooner. I also really want to stress that you shouldn't push just any fight you see. You're looking for fights where you have a distinct advantage, and if you don't have an advantage, find some way to make your own advantage. In this case, I try rotating around, I am able to take out a guy, just keep running away, they're going to chase me. And you know what, going to the hill, that's going to force them to run to me and try to stop me from breaking the hill. And as I mentioned before, if you see somebody who's crossing, you know that they're probably going to be laser focused on what they're doing. Take your time, pay attention to where they're looking, and you should see that you have an opportunity to get them. I get kind of lucky with the hill break here, as I see another guy right in front of me with his back turned to me. But I don't want to take this fight with the guy with his Lancer out because I don't know what else is behind me. So I take my time, make sure I land the next shot on the guy that pushes me, and now I can change my focus back to this Lancer. Because I'm out of ammo, I need to really be patient with my shot here, and you can see I miss it. Now I'm in a bad position, so I try to outstrafe this guy and then get him with an easy wrap shot. This is another example where I could be at a disadvantage because I see that I have multiple enemies pushing up at me. By putting a little bit of damage into this first guy, I guarantee he's not going to push forward. I go wide on the next guy because I already heard him and I know I can hit him from a distance. Then I play my corners and get the next 2 kills easily. Here I have a left-hand disadvantage and a height disadvantage, but it doesn't matter. I see another player running off, so I decide to go up and break the hill. Now again, the importance of looking around, I see he's coming back. So the plan is to down him, and then be patient with the shot first of all, take my meat shield, and then now it's going to be really hard for them to push into me. I'm getting cross enough that I know I might lose this meat shield, so I drop it and get this guy before he can break the hill. This whole play is an example of cause and effect, and honestly you should not be surprised by the effects of your actions. This is Team Deathmatch, and I see right out of spawn I have at least 3 teammates with me. I also see that there's only 1 enemy. That means the other 4 are unaccounted for. I immediately think there might be a flank. You see that I have a left-hand disadvantage, but I do have a height advantage. If I sit a little bit away from the corner, they won't see me. I surprise this first guy, but my shot's not ready for the next guy, so I skip past him. Then I turn around and take care of the last guy while he wonders what went so wrong. So if you guys like what you see so far, please feel free to like, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's not really worth making these videos if nobody watches them. If you like this format and you want to see more, please leave a comment, because I read every single one. Here I see somebody move up to the middle, but I don't see 5 people on my screen, so I assume there should be somebody coming up behind me. Then I look through the window to see if there's an enemy there. I saw the mark for a second on my screen, so I move up and I see he's got a new shield. I put some damage on, then move back, look behind me again. I see the Lancer fire come in, so I go in for the kill. Lastly, I check behind me one more time, sure enough there's a guy. If you want to learn how to play like me, don't worry, I got you covered. Check out my channel to see my tutorials with the full controller overlay.